be honest.
I think you might be right. Our next guest is an international opera star who's no stranger to audiences of absolutely thousands.
But next month, Jonathan Veira is swapping the stages of Glyndebourne and the Royal Opera House for one at Banham in Norfolk. It's all raising money for charity because he's that kind of guy. Jonathan joins us from our Guildford studio. Hello!
Hello, Jonathan.
Hello. It's nice to talk to you again, Thordis. I remember the last time you were squeezing buttocks and things. I seem to remember.
Yeah,
for BBC Radio Norfolk.
We always do. I'm not in my.
But do you know what? I went and squeezed my buttocks nearly every morning, right, for the next 3 months. That's all I can say.
And did you notice any improvement?
No, none whatsoever. I've given it up now.
Neither did
I. I've returned to my normal thing of just sitting and watching the telly.
Well, yeah, I'm all right first thing in the morning, as long as I remember to close the blinds.
Exactly.
that is the way ahead. But do you have like an early morning regime that you could talk about on the radio for starters? Just to maintain that.
Why do we get into this every time I speak to you? Why can't we just talk about me being the mega star and all that? No, we all get into buttocks.
Buttocks and regimes.
And my regime is, to be honest, at 52, I'm just when I wake up, I'm really pleased to be alive. Do you know what I mean? You kind of think, oh, hello, it's here again. We're on day number, whatever it is. So I'm kind of happy when my wife, she brings me, bless her, my regime is 2 boiled eggs in the morning, right? With 2, I know, isn't that lovely?
Listen, yeah.
2 boiled eggs, right? And she looks at me, she says, hello, darling. I'm just so thrilled that I'm married to you for 30 years. Is there anything more, my darling, that I can do for you? That is my accent.
Yeah. Is that before you wake up,
regime.
Jonathan?
Yeah.
That's the dream sequence before you open your eyes.
No, this is it. You see, love exists, Thordis, and it exists, okay, in my household. She loves me, Thordis. That's all I can say.
and forever pleased you made it through the night as well.
I am. I'm very grateful. So I step into the bathroom and look at myself and think, oh my word, and go back to bed.
You need a bulldog clip. That's what I use at the back of the head. Yeah, gather everything up.
Anyway, enough about this. Because all I have to say is, you said this. He's swapping the international stages and all the rest. I have never ever performed in a zoo before. All right, can I just tell you?
Okay, yes.
I'm surprised, actually, Jonathan.
Well, I'm not half as surprised as I am when they said to me, "Could you come and do a concert again in Norfolk, in Banham?" And I said, "Well, I'd done the lovely little community centre, and my cousin happens to live opposite there, and they asked if I'd go and do it." So I said, "Yeah, okay." And then they said, "Well, could you come and do it? But there's not enough. It's not big enough. The community centre. Let's go for something bigger." And they came back and said, "The zoo."
You're not in the giraffe house or something, though.
There are so many gags, aren't there?
Well,
waiting to be done.
Mine instantly is make sure you get all the seals in the front row, because they applaud the best.
A bit like Paula Abdul, actually. Paula like she claps.
Well, some people are kind of saying I'm just returning to my natural habitat, origin of the species and all that. And you kind of think, yeah, but do you know what? I can't wait. I haven't been to a zoo for ages, and plus, when my kids were little, we went to zoos, but I haven't been there, and I can't wait to go. I want a little kind of guided tour, and I wonder whether there'll be kind of animals protesting as I sing. You know what I mean? You never can tell, can you?
I don't know if they have any of these at Banham Zoo, but my favourites, whenever I go to any kind of, when I was young and used to go to animal parks, were the howler monkeys, who make the most amazing sound, and they're the kind of ones you probably wouldn't want as your backing singers.
No, actually, because I've heard many singers, many colleagues of mine sound very, very similar. So, I can only say they have an extraordinary way of opening their throat and singing.
So, whereabouts in the zoo? How's it going to work? Which
I think
area?
there is. Look, can I just tell you that often what I do is I turn up, the chairs are set, and I bring my thing and sing. So I can only hope that I think it's part of an entertainment suite. They've got seating for 350 or 400 people there. And so I can only hope it's not in one of the cages. That's all I'm saying to you.
Well, I'm fairly certain you're going to be safe. from the Cages, because the Applewood Function Suite, I do the country music guide on the country music show, and there always seem to be country music gigs at the Function Suite.
Oh,
and
is that
however
right?
in touch
Country
with their
music,
rural side
yeah.
they are, I'm fairly certain they're not doing it from like the midst of the tiger pen or something. So I think you're all right.
Well, it's a big tradition in Norfolk. They do love country music, don't they? Last time I was there, I did a kind of country music spoof, and everybody loved it, rather than what everybody usually in Surrey. They all laugh at it. They say, "Oh, country music." In Norfolk, they went, "All right, I love that. I do love that." So they all joined in. So that was kind of. So I'll have to do more of that, I think. Clearly,
More Dolly Parton covers, I think, for you.
Let's not go to Dolly. Although lay the blanket on the ground. I mean, I always said that we came from a very strict Christian home, actually, and I had to. But my dad, he loved country. He always used to say that old line, what type of music like that? He said, I like both types, country and western. And I actually used to say to him, right, and he had to explain to him, however, that, the lay the blanket on the ground, it was not a song about a picnic. And so country and western, actually, but I was brought up with it. So I ended up doing this big show with my boys. They formed my band, my men, boys, and made sure one of them played the drums, one of them played the bass, and one of them played the guitar. And we did this big gig up in London and recorded, and it's all filmed for later release. And we did this thing, and we played You Placed Gold on My Finger, You Brought Love Like I've Never Known, You're My Bread When I'm Hungry, that Don Williams song. You're my shelter from the troubled wind. And in fact, here my boys who don't like country music at all, they made a really good country band. I just think there's a future in it for me somewhere.
Oh, I think you might be right. And even we just every now and then we play a little tribute to Johnny Cash by Snoop Dogg on this programme.
It's great.
It is. It's actually very good. It's called My Medicine. And it says, tribute to me man Johnny Cash. Cash. Yeah.
Do you
But you see, the thing about country and western music, it's dead simple, but it reflects often people's they're very front of house emotion, as I would say. It's out there. They just go, I love you, or they're completely stupid. You're the reason our kids are ugly. My wife ran off with my best friend, and I sure do miss him.
Tell me about the rabbits. I want to hug them and stroke them and pet them and love them.
But it's true. Yeah. And actually, I do a lot of that. I come up with the more and more titles that people have written that actually are genuine songs, like If You Leave Me, Can I Come To? If she hadn't been so good looking, I might have seen the train. You've got to think about that one.
Do you find that you have to do the accent when you're doing the songs?
Oh, yeah. I do, Thordis. You can't go singing all that without singing and in the accent, you know what I'm saying?
And you have to wear some kind of hat and,
I stop at that kind of thing, because I think people think you're kind of stupid, you know what I mean? So, accents are what I've had, listen, for opera, I had to learn, I had to sing in 8 different languages, so I had to find the accent that was accurate for that country. So Italian, there's no point singing, the wrong accent.
I suppose that when you're actually learning songs in different languages, do you actually just learn the words and the sounds, or do you prefer to learn each and every meaning exactly?
It's not a matter of prefer. You have to know,
right?
Because as you turn up to an opera house in Czechoslovakia or something, or in Italy, and you haven't known exactly what you're saying, you do look like a complete idiot, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So you're working often. For example, when I was singing in Russian, I did a recording in Russian, and I was surrounded. There were 10 Russians and 2 of us were Brits. If I hadn't known exactly what I was singing, if they laughed at us, as you can imagine, anyway, trying to British singing, and you're singing all this, and they're laughing anyway, as we do when Russians come and try and sing English. So you have to know exactly what every word means. I was just teaching somebody now who was singing an Italian song, and I said, do you know what this means? And they hadn't got a clue. So I said, go away, do the translation, and come back and tell me what it means. I knew what it meant, but I needed him to understand that,
Now, the funny thing is, I used to have singing lessons when I was younger. I was never very good. But you start out and you don't realise that you need to know what the words mean. So you are very much learning it phonetically. So you want to be able to get it to sound right. So did you ever do that? I mean, obviously now you're in the position of teacher, and you know you've got to know what it means, and it's outrageous that somebody wouldn't. But have you been in that spot where you're just trying to get by how to pronounce it?
Completely and totally. Because, in fact, when you start out, that you have no idea of the demands. You turn up to the first thing at Glyndebourne Opera, Glyndebourne, one of the most prestigious opera houses in the world, and you turn up. And I remember the Italian coach looking at me, and I was singing the Mozart opera, Così fan tutte, Thus Are All Women, is the translation. And I got to this first bit, and it's a huge, huge opera. And she stopped, and she looked at me, she says, "Darling, why you hate Italians so much?" So I said, "Sorry?" She says, "Why do you kill the language like this? And you know nothing of the meaning. You must go away." And she sent me away, and I had to spend literally days doing a translation. And I thought phonetics were okay. They're not. So you've got to know exactly what you're singing. You've got to do exactly what it is, but also sing with the accent. Otherwise, when you go to Italy, they will laugh you off the stage. That's the truth.
And then you get the other side of it, when you get like people with this happens with people from the Scottish. They'll sing and there's no trace of an accent whatsoever until when they start talking. You think, well, I never knew they were from Glasgow.
Unless
that's right. No, that's right. And actually, that's important, But when you're singing in an accent without an accent, which is fine, you see, I know that if you're singing a real Rob Roy song, of course you'll have to do it, but the Northern Irish people, it's classic, because if you're, I know from Belfast, if you're doing this, you can't be singing like this in Italian. It won't work. No, it will not, ever. So you have to, they iron out the accent, and so that's part of what I do in the show. In a way, look, the show is it's just a huge amount of laughs, and, I sing a lot, and joke a lot, and play around a lot, and people who they've come around to see, I suppose, a little bit of flexibility, a bit of silliness, a bit of stupidity, and class singing that they wouldn't normally get in the heart of Norfolk.
Two things. I just noticed in the TV listings last night when I was going through them. I think it's on tonight, BBC 4. Andy Stewart, the man behind the kilt. That's only half an hour. No, seriously, it's on there. And the other, I don't know if I should sit up and watch it.
I'll just go away and laugh at that.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I mean, you mentioned just a moment or two ago, oh darling, oh lovey, all that sort of thing when people come to the opera. How are you with those sort of people when they come in? Because
I'm the same. Can I just say,
are you a lovey?
Listen, I am what I have to be. And here's the thing.
All right, chameleon.
One is a chameleon, and when I was meeting, I always say this. If I went up and I was, I've been twice now to 10 Downing Street, and when you're invited to 10 Downing Street, or you're meeting royalty or anything, you don't go, all right, Dave, how you doing, all right, mate, lovely. Well, you don't, do you? You don't. You kind of go. Well, I remember going. I was asking him something, and you're at 10 Downing Street, and you're talking, and you're up there as an artist and everything else, and so he says, "My name's David Cameron." I said, "Do you know, I had no idea." And suddenly you become like this, and very carefully spoken. And I suppose all of us do this to some extent. Now, I don't think it's being false. I just think it's moving you speak as to fit in, and you do fit in. Otherwise, you don't fit in, and then people don't want to speak to you. So I deal. When people come to the opera for all kinds of reasons. You'll have working class people who come because they just love the tunes, they love the smell of the theatre. They come to see me in Norfolk, in the Theatre Royal in Norfolk, doing Glyndebourne year after year. They did that for years. And people will come back and they say, you love it here. I just love the acts. I love hearing all that sound. You know what I mean? Now, you get that, and you get the other lot who are obviously from Norfolk, but in a different kind of way. They were educated in London. Well, everybody is in the same theatre. I don't care how they speak, to be honest, as long as what happens is when they come into any of my concerts, whether it be an opera or whether it's an audience with Jonathan Veira, they have a great time. They go away inspired. They go away lifted up. They go away. A woman came and she said, "I haven't laughed so much since my husband died." I said, "What, did your husband dying make you laugh?" I didn't quite understand that one. But, but it was that,
It is nice. It is a great thing about a show, even I suppose a movie, a film, but it's enjoying that one experience with all those other people. There's just something a little bit unbeatable about that.
Nothing like it. And
it is good, isn't it?
It brings everybody from all the different groups that we are, which is what this country is fantastic at being. Actually, we are from so many different groups, social groupings, privately educated, state educated. It doesn't really matter. When you're in the theatre, the lights go down. They're all the one and the same. You know, I don't care who they are, as long as they come out at the end of it somewhat changed. Then I've done my job. You know, that's my job, is to entertain people for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is, and they come out at the end, they go, Gordon Bennett, that was fantastic, or my word, that was absolutely splendid, or right enough, I loved that, you know, it was just the right way for me today.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure and delight having you on the programme today, Jonathan. We'll play one of your tracks in just a moment or two. That's at the Applewood Function Suite, Banham Zoo, and it's on the 6th of March.
Time of show,
£7.50.
Yeah. All right, and that's at 7:30. And BBC 4 tonight, Andy Stewart, the man behind the kilt.
Which we'll all be watching, I'm sure.
I'll be there.
Jonathan, you lovely man. We adore having you on the show. Speak to you again soon.
Thank you so much. It's lovely being, and I can't wait to get to Norfolk again.
Take care.
Bless you, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Here's what we brought you on Chris Gorham.